Inside Mentor. Today, we're going to talk about grants. So what's a grant? Simply put, it's money that's provided for a specific purpose. You can ask for a grant to buy a fire truck, fund a study, or clean up a brownfield. All kinds of grants are available, and they exist to help solve problems. Abe Bruckman, Mentor's grant coordinator, spends his day investigating those problems and finding creative solutions for the city. A lot of the time, figuring out how to get a project launched, and more importantly, funded, isn't clear-cut. This is where Abe comes in. His expertise lies in knowing where to get the money and who to involve in order to maximize the chance of success of landing that grant.
The grant process involves not just me, but several other people. I tend to work with designated individuals within different departments. Usually those people are tasked to help find funds that the city budget can't necessarily cover completely. And so part of the grant process involves my getting together with one of those individuals, and we talk about the needs of that department, and then we look for a funding program that'll fill that gap in our budget.
Let's face it, grants are wonky, but without them, it'd be impossible to get certain things done.
Sometimes grants are important because they satisfy an unmet need where you've got a project or a need that doesn't necessarily fit into a neat category. I think the city's expanding the scope of its efforts relative to environmental restoration efforts and sustainability type of initiatives. And the project that's going into construction at the Great Lakes Mall is actually the first of a series of similar type projects, all of which have been grant funded to some extent, that the city's going to be doing.
The upcoming stormwater management project at the Great Lakes Mall doesn't just affect Mentor, it affects the Chagrin River watershed.
The Great Lakes Mall is a 114-acre site, and the entire site, for the most part, was essentially what we call impervious. Water didn't drain into the site, it drained off the site. And all of that water, especially during strong storm events, drained directly into a creek that went through our Garfield Park. And we were having flooding events in that park, which was costly to the city, which meant it was costly to taxpayers. We've acquired a grant through a federal program called the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, and that particular grant is for a stormwater management project. That particular project actually will benefit the communities of Mentor, Willoughby, and Eastlake. The Mentor portion of it is going to take place in the parking lot of the Great Lakes Mall, immediately in front of and adjacent to the food court. One of the things that the Mentor residents will see, or actually anybody who comes to the Great Lakes Mall to shop, is that once this project is completed, there's going to be a noticeable change in the visual appeal, you can call it the curb appeal, of the parking lot. The parking lot itself is going to be essentially turned into a stormwater management feature.
Managing the stormwater at the mall will prevent flooding at the city-owned Garfield Park as well as further downstream. In order to get that initiative off the ground, it required a collaborative effort. If it had just been left up to the property owner, it probably never would have happened. Another key initiative is the Central Lake County Lakefront Connectivity Project, which sounds like a mouthful. In short, the goal of this project is to connect trails and bike paths in Lake County to Headlands Beach State Park and Lake Erie. Right now, the path system is in the initial planning phase, and that's being paid for by a grant.
It's a project that might involve collaboration between several city departments or several agencies or perhaps several communities. And in a situation like that, a grant gives you a process by which you can get these different respective groups together to develop a proposal, put together the resources necessary, demonstrate your need, and then if you satisfy all of those requirements, you get the grant and you do the project.
Looking forward, one of the most important challenges that lakefront municipalities are facing is the protection of our lakefront. The hope is that the state of Ohio or the federal government will be able to step in and help.
We're keeping our fingers crossed, but it looks like we've got another significant funding award that we're going to be getting for a project in the city's lakefront preserve and marina area.
Projects like these improve the quality of life in our town. It's safe to say they often go unnoticed. Consider how often you hear, somebody should do something about this or that. Well, somebody is. People like Abe help get things done in Mentor, Ohio. Thanks for watching. We hope to catch you next time on Inside Mentor.